Hey everybody, Uzi here. I just wanted to drop a quick video going over some of the last week's trades with you. Um, we had a great week, traded about 12 different symbols, and all were winners. So I want to go over some of the setups, what I was thinking, what I saw, and the actual trades that we took. Um, Let me get right to it. So here's the summary and spreadsheet from last week, week of September 29th, 2024. Here's the summary on the right. I provide this every week at the end of the week for the members so that we can see what we did in a nice, easy to read fashion. You can see on the right the summary. We closed 11 trades for the week. They were all winners. We opened 2 new options positions for next week. We opened 3 new futures options positions. Here's all the open positions. You can see we have Roku 70 puts on short. We have a put spread, credit put spread on coin, and we have soybeans, copper, and a position in the euro. To the left, you can see all the closed trades. 10 of them were stock and options trades, and one of them was a earnings trade. The earnings trade was Nike. We closed it for 75% capture of the premium, which was an 18.2% return on risk. And the lowest percentage that we were able to close some of the trades this week was 51% on Roblox, 40 puts, and the highest was 100% on the ASTS calls that we had a strangle on, which we had closed last week, I believe. So these are the trades. Let me get right to the first one I want to go over with you, which is RCL, Royal Caribbean. And as you can see in the chart here, RCL has been making a nice steady sequence of new highs on the daily chart. And it just hit an all-time high here. And what we had was we had one pretty good down day, and it was not an engulfing bar, but it was significant in that it took out the low of the previous day, which was an all-time high. Okay, if I thought it was going to, you would think if it was going to consolidate a little bit, it would at least have respected the low of that all-time high day. But what it did was there was a gap here, if you can see it slightly there. There was a gap to fill. Let me get my pen here and draw it for you. There was a gap to fill. So it looks like that's what it wanted to do. It wanted to fill this gap right around there. And it did. It did by closing below here. And what we did was, seeing this, I wanted to get into a position. I do think it's going to go higher, but I know it's going to do a little bit of a short-term pullback from the chart pattern I'm looking at. So let me show you what we did. The trade we put on was a strangle, and here's the upper boundary of the strangle, which is the call side, and here's the put side. And here's the day in question that we put the trade on right here, as you can see. Let me just back up some of these things here. Let me back up. Okay. And then you can see this is the day we put it on. And we did get some follow through to the downside. It came down to test the middle of the Bollinger Bands. It also tested the 21 EMA, which I like. When I see this, this is a nice place to get long. But as it came down here, we covered on the call side, which is we covered the short calls. And then as it ramped back up, we were able to close the puts in that day, on that particular, I think it was that day, which was a nice, easy trade that we were able to take nice profits on. And looking back on how much percentage gain on that trade, again, that was RCL. So on the call side, we made 74%, and on the put side, we made 53%. And just for transparency, here are here you go. So we closed the puts 53% in 5 days, and the calls were one day, 74%. We opened this trade on a Friday, and we closed the calls on that Monday. And then you can see the rest of the trades here. So yeah, great trade. The next trade I want to go over with you is Amazon. And for that, I'm going to bring over my screen over here. We bring that over. So with Amazon, what I had seen and what I liked was the fact that Amazon had multiple days down. As I zoom in for you, you can see Amazon was on a mission here to come down and do some form of back testing. So I knew it was going to probably come back to test the 50. I thought it might hold up here at the 21 EMA. We already came through the 8 EMA right there, but I thought it might hold at the 21, but it didn't. And it did come down all the way here. Now, we didn't put the trade on until this day here. Once I was watching this for days, and once I saw that it gapped down, and it gapped down into support at the 50, that was my entry. That was my trigger to get short, to get long by shorting puts. Okay, let me just bring that back up for you and show you what we did on that, because I took it away. So bear with me, because I am new to making videos. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. Please bear with me. Amazon, we did a 175 by 172.5 put spread, and we closed that the very next day when, yes, the market helped. The market gapped up the following day, so I have to give some credit to the market for sure. But it was due for a bounce. If it didn't bounce the next day, I expected it to bounce within the next few days, allowing us to close these puts, this put spread for profit. So yeah, that was the Amazon trade. Let me just back out of some of this markings here. Okay. Now, the other trade I want to go over with you is Roku. And if you can look in here quickly before we bounce over there, Roku, we put on 70 puts, which we wound up closing for 58%. But let's take a look at the chart setup and see what I saw and what we did. Remember, it's the 70 puts on Roku. So pulling up the Roku chart. So on Roku, I've been watching for a while, and I like what it's been doing. If you see here, notice here on the chart, it's got an open gap. Let me get my little trusty marker. We have a gap here, which has not been filled yet. They tried to gap fill it here this day, but it didn't. It came down, it came down here to try to close the gap, but it got held up at the 21 EMA and the rising middle of the Bollinger Bands. Another spot I like to keep an eye on. So once I saw that, I said to myself, this is strong leg bull. I made a post on Twitter, and we sold puts here. I don't recall the day, but we sold the puts. And it's going to take a lot to close this gap. It could happen one morning on some type of news event or some market maker shenanigans. But for now, this gap is good. It's had enough time to really fill it. And we've got rising Bollinger Bands. We've got a rising 58 moving average, which we might get a golden cross. A golden cross is when you get the 50-day crossing over the 200, which is potentially going to happen in the next few days to weeks. This is what I'm looking at here. So anyway, we sold the 70 puts, and we were able to close them for nice profits. So these are the type of trades that we do in my room. Oh, one more thing. The other thing that made me feel confident once Roku was coming down here is that it's been overbought. So I knew it was going to come down and try to test that gap. And once it didn't officially close the gap, I knew we were good to go with some short puts. But these are the type of trades that we do. I give analysis and updates along the way as we go through the week. Any questions are quickly answered as quickly as I possibly can. We have a technical analysis channel so that members can submit if they wanted requests on a chart, if they need some assistance in some of their own trades. So I'll map out a chart, give them some ideas on what I'm seeing. You know, I never make recommendations because that's illegal. This is not financial advice. Everything I do for you guys is just guidance and what I see and what I'm doing in my own account. Members can follow me if they want to or not. That's completely up to them. But the ones that have been following are doing real good. We have a number of new followers in the past 2 weeks, and they have not experienced a losing trade yet in the room. I can't promise that's going to stay the way it goes, but so far so good. So we're counting our blessings, and we're looking forward to the upcoming week, of course, and closing the year strong. But that's it for now. If you like this content, please leave a like and a follow. Help me build the channel a little bit so I know if it's worth making the videos. doesn't take a little time to make them, you know, create the thumbnails and all that other stuff. Sometimes you got to do an edit. So if you don't mind, you know, give me a comment, give me some critiques. Tell me what I can do better in these videos. Tell me what I can do to make them more um, educational in a sense, and what more you'd like to see of, because I can do anything you guys request. All right. Thanks for watching. This is Uzi signing out. Catch up with you again soon.